Bill Cosby also has to be accountable for what he represents and for acts
about
of
these women
and for
being
predator-like
accountable?
behavior.
What about
Say
these
that again?
women being accountable for their own behavior? They were groupies.
Well,
You know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rap, sex, drugs, baseball, football, basketball, movies, television. See,
yeah,
it's
but
called
right
being
now
a
I'm talking about Bill
groupie.
Cosby. I'm saying,
We forgot what that term meant. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. The bimbos come to the party,
yeah,
they hang out, they get drunk, they snort lines of blow, and they have a good time. They use the hall closets to give head, the bathrooms to get down, and you go in to get your coat off of the bed, and they're laying on top of it doing somebody. See, that's what that's about.
yeah,
So, I
but
mean,
Judge,
let's not
it
get
has to be it has to be
sanctimonious
consensual
25,
though.
30, 40, 50 years after something was in big time style. When this stuff started out, the sexual revolution was going on. And a lot of women
Well,
got
so
into it deeply.
okay, but so
So,
there's
I
two things you
mean,
raised.
the
But
point
first,
is,
no,
yes,
but first
it's
let's talk
horrible
about Bill
when a
Cosby.
woman
We
is
can talk
done
about the women,
wrong.
but let's talk about Bill Cosby. Let's talk about Bill Cosby for a second, because that's the person we're talking about. My
What did
question
he
was: Is
do?
there room to what did he do? Well, according to the deposition, he gave women pills, and in one deposition, he
He
specifically
gave them
said he
pills.
didn't
He
know
didn't
whether.
force it down their
No,
throat,
let me
and he
finish.
didn't take advantage of them.
Well,
Look at that interview Whoopi Goldberg did with that model Johnson. Whoopi got all
so
on her.
so
Said, wait a minute, you're trying to
so
tell me that
hold on,
when
Judge. Let me
he
ask the
found
question.
out you were high, he called a cab, took the elevator down with you, put you in the cab, paid your fare, tipped the man, and sent you home because you were high? So what did he do to
So
you?
in one deposition, so Judge, in one deposition specifically, when he was asked the question, was he sure that the woman was sober enough to consent? He said, "I don't know." But there's a bigger question here: is if someone willingly takes pills and becomes high and drunk, can they legally consent?
Sometimes you can. Used to be you could. They had a change in there back 25 years ago when they were saying, no, you can't. But before that, basically, you could. That's why they told
Right.
you,
But we're talking
stay
about the law.
sober.
So 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 then, Judge, again,
See,
since you're
the
saying we should appeal
standard
to the
used to
law,
be
if the
if it
law
was
says that you
involuntary
can't be,
intoxication where you did something to them they didn't consent to. See, that's when that
right.
law started
Ju-
changing from you got yourself drunk, you're responsible to no, the bartender's responsible because he lets you get drunk. That's when that
Judge
change started coming
Bill
about.
Cosby's admitting, Bill Cosby's admitting to giving women alcohol and pills for the purpose of having sex. And if by the law you
Most
can't
women I know
consent if
go
you're
drink a
drunk
glass of wine
or
when you go
high,
out to dinner or you have a party or something. So
yeah,
does
but
that
that's
make
not the same.
them
That's
taken
irrelevant,
advantage
Judge.
of because they do something they would have done anyway? A whole lot of them I knew
Yes,
back in the years would
that's
take
sexual
drugs,
assault, Judge.
particularly Quaaludes. They did that a lot. I had a lot of female clients I had to get out of messes because they had a fondness for Quaaludes. It's not
Yeah,
cool,
but
but I
it's okay
mean,
to take.
don't you bear any responsibility for this, especially if you keep going
No.
back?
So, Judge, let me. I want to lay this out plainly, just so, and I'll give you a chance to respond. I'll even give you the last word. If you give someone drugs and alcohol, even if they want to take the drugs and alcohol, if they get to a point where they are inebriated, where they are high or drunk, you cannot have sex with them. It is not sex; it becomes rape. And even by
That's
the legal
only the
standard that you're
law
saying
in
we should
certain
appeal to,
states. That's only the law in certain states. It's not for every state. And it goes into
you're
this
saying it's
same
rape in some states.
philosophy. It
Right,
goes
but
into
let
this
me finish
same
and then I'll give you
thing.
the
I
last
didn't
word.
know I was going to get
Well,
that drunk, so it ain't my fault I got a DUI and killed somebody. How you think that's going to float?
Right, but the difference is
And
the
plus,
drunk
you
person has a
have people
responsibility to
on
not.
the East Coast who want a
The
new
drunk person has a
category of
responsibility
felony
not to
rape.
get into the
It's
car,
called rape
but
by
the drunk person
seduction.
does not have a
In other words, you
responsibility
take a
not to
woman
give the
out and you
responsibility.
decide to
If
have
we're
a
talking
good
about
meal, linen,
if we're talking
candlelight,
about
wine, dine.
responsibility,
You go for a walk in the park, my place or yours. Get over there, kissy, kissy, poo, seduction, clothes come off. Everybody has a good time. This crowd wants that to be called
everybody
felony
isn't having a
rape
good
by
time. One person's
seduction.
being assaulted. Right, but what I'm saying, Judge,
Nobody,
and I got to run.
see, that's the point. He never admitted to what he did, was accused of, which is
how many people in your court admitted to what they did
all
that were
did
guilty?
Was they asked for it, I supplied it. They wanted it.
Okay,
that's like put some candles on and some incense when we do it. Let's go out and have a fine meal. Some Pinot Noir, some Cabernet Sauvignon,
giving somebody
to go with the prime rib and the lobster. And then we, you know, after we leave the 5-star restaurant, we got a nice walk in the park.
This honestly is, with all due respect, is the most disturbing interview I've ever had in my life.
No, but see, you are into this thing where everybody's got to be protected. This society does not work when the society's obligation is to protect somebody from being stupid. You protect somebody's rights.
To protect somebody from being raped, but we got to go, Judge Joe Brown. We can have a conversation, but I got to run commercial breaks. I'm way past commercial break.
Just like you can't protect somebody from liability for killing someone in a fatal DUI because the bartender didn't stop serving them when they kept asking.
Unfortunately, I got to run. We're way past commercial break. I know you understand that. Thank you for joining the show. Let us know what you're thinking. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at BNC News. Visit the website, bnc.tv. Coming up next,